The Basement Dwellers podcast is brought to you by Dynamite Shirts. Now offering several services such as screen printing, embroidery, vinyl transfer, and even decals. Visit dynamite-shirts.com and get you some sweet custom clothing today.
Press start to continue.
They are those who live in the shadows, who feed upon Doritos and Mountain Dew. They take comfort in their dark habitats as they watch reruns of sci-fi shows long past. They are the Basement Dwellers.
Show me what you got.
So say we all. So say we all. So say we all.
Indeed.
Yes. This is a fertile land and we will thrive. We will rule over all this land and we will call it this land.
Make it so.
Join me, and together we can rule the galaxy far from sun. I want to believe.
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
Hello everyone and welcome to season 3 episode, fuck what season episode is, I don't know. It's episode 6 of The Basement Dwellers, a bi-weekly podcast dedicated to all activities most enjoyed by those who spend their time in the deepest, darkest, and dankest of basements everywhere. I'm your host, Wes Tanner, and tonight we're really just kind of winging it. No particular topic for this evening, we just wanted to get together and hang out for a bit. So I'm joined as always by my fellow basement dwellers, Nick and Drew. What's up, guys?
Hello. Nothing.
What's up?
So I know I cut you off before we first started here, but what is Doom Patrol? That's a thing, right?
True.
Doom Patrol?
Yeah. All I know about it is it's, in my opinion, a terrible looking TV show that DC is making for their streaming service.
Oh God! Wait, they're doing a streaming service too?
Yeah, they've had a streaming service. It's got all of their like standalone animated movies on it,
Okay.
and it's gonna have this Doom Patrol TV show, and it's gonna have, or it already has, a Teen Titans live action show. The Teen Titans one actually looked kind of okay.
What one is that called? Is that the one Ethan keeps going on about?
Say what?
Is that the one Ethan keeps going on about?
Yeah,
I forget. Was it just called Titans or something like that?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about Doom Patrol. It was actually it was an ad that interrupted the video I was trying to watch on Facebook. So I literally just saw it earlier today, so I don't know anything about it.
And that's 95% of the reason that I think it looks like trash. And I think it looks dumb. It looks so dumb to me.
Okay, Nick, you have a different opinion. What's...
I mean, first of all, Brendan Fraser's coming back, so that's pretty cool.
Wait, Brendan Fraser's in it?
Yeah, he plays like Robo-Man or Robot Man.
He's the Robot Man.
Okay, is this a serious show, or are they like doing like a kick-ass, like satirical...
I don't know.
Like Robo-Man? Robot Man? I mean, I don't know.
That's his actual name.
Okay.
And then Elastigirl is one of the other.
All right.
Elasti-Woman?
Something like that. And there's Negative Man.
Yeah. So that's where I'm not sure if it's supposed to be sillier or not. Because the name's
in it.
So this is like an existing like
DC comic book. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real thing. It just
it
looks so bad.
Is it like Suicide Squad but goofy?
I don't know. I think it looks pretty interesting.
I don't know.
I'm gonna reserve judgment.
If we have to pay to see it to know if we like it, then
yeah. I don't know any history on Doom Patrol. I've never heard of them really until these Facebook ads started popping up, and I hate them just for that, because I'm so sick of starting to watch a video and then it's like, Brendan Fraser is Robot Man, some dude's Negative Man. It's like, I don't care. Just let me watch my stupid video about a cat that hates auto-tune.
Yeah. So a little bit of an administration point here. We were scheduled to play D&D this Saturday, the 23rd. We ended up having to reschedule, so those of you listening to this, we won't be there Saturday if you are trying to look for us on our Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/tvdpod. So just give us a follow for now. We're trying to figure out when we can get together next, but one of our players is moving away out of state, so we'll have to do some rearranging for future sessions. But yeah, I don't know where else to go from here. You guys want to take a quick break?
Sure.
Okay, we'll be right back.
What's up, everybody? JJ here. I'm a super nostalgic person, and one of the things that has given me so many memories over the years has been my experiences with video games. I mean, sure, I like hearing reviews, watching Let's Plays, and getting news about the latest releases, but what I really love is hearing about how gaming has affected people on a personal level. That's why I decided to start my own YouTube channel, Game Room Revival. I talk not only about games I love, but why I love them so much, and what they've meant to me over the years. I'm a retro game collector, and the games that mean the most to me are the ones that have great memories attached to them. So, if you're like me and have a passion for talking and hearing about how games have affected people personally, I invite you to come check out my YouTube channel, Game Room Revival. Thanks. And now, back to the basement.
And we're back, and like I said, we don't really have any sort of particular topics we're going to be talking about, just a whole bunch of random bullshit that has been on our minds. So speaking of which, Nick, you had mentioned that you had been watching the new Umbrella Academy on its Netflix, right?
Yeah, it's so good.
It's so good. It's so good. That's one I remember talking about it very briefly when we were talking about something else on one of our previous shows. Like, I think there's like a director that is shared with something else that we were interested in. What is Umbrella Academy? I know it's got the dude from what the fuck is that band? My Chemical Romance. He like wrote it.
Gerard Way.
Yeah, yep. Gerard Way wrote it, and then there's a different artist. He wrote the graphic novel.
Okay.
I haven't read it, and I actually didn't know anything about it until like just recently.
Yeah.
And I watched, like, I power watched through the show, and it's excellent. So the whole premise is that, for people that don't know, the whole premise is that there is like 32 or 36 children that are born all on the same day to women who were not pregnant, like, prior to that day.
Weird.
And so it's really weird. And so this, like, eccentric billionaire buys these children. And yeah, it's fucking weird. But he gets like 7 of them and kind of grooms them to become these superheroes. And they're like trying to prevent the apocalypse, and it's just fucking rad. Each one of them's got their own unique abilities and quirks about them. It's a really, really cool concept and show.
So how similar is that to, or I guess what makes it different from like X-Men? That's what it sounds like to me a little bit.
It's darker, I think.
Yeah, it is a lot darker.
It's
okay. I mean, I've seen the trailer, so I know it definitely has a different tone. But like the way you just described it reminds me of X-Men, you know, with.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, in X-Men, Professor X doesn't go out and buy special children.
No, I know.
To come to school. Yeah. He doesn't just go and be like, "Hey, let me buy your kid from you because you obviously don't want it."
Right. in a way, it makes the characters more human in the series, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because they explore their thoughts and feelings and who they are as people versus showcasing their powers.
Okay.
For example, like there's one character named Klaus, and his powers are he can like talk to the dead. He has like minimal psychic abilities and possession abilities. But in the show, I don't know if it's the same for the graphic novel, but in the show, he's like a drug addict.
Okay.
To try to silence out like the dead. And he tries to like tone his abilities down. And each of them just have like their own quirks, you know.
Good deal. Yeah, I'll be checking that out.
It's really, really good.
On my list.
Yeah, I know there's 2 volumes of the graphic novel, and I see them all the time, and I keep telling myself to pick them up because I flip through them and they're really interesting. But that's one I haven't bought that's on my to get list.
The one thing I will say that I understand is that the show is supposed to be inspired by the graphic novels. It doesn't follow it to the letter. Like there are big differences, and they kind of divert from the graphic novel, but I mean, all in all, it's still fantastic. Like, really, really good series.
How many episodes are in?
It's 10.
10. Okay. All right.
Hour long or half hour?
They're like 30 to 45 minutes.
Okay, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
That's doable. So speaking of watching things, through secret methods, was able to watch at least half up to this point of the new Spider-Man movie, the Into the Spider-Verse, yeah. And good Lord, I was talking this up in chat earlier, but I can't get over like how much of like a masterpiece it is so far. Like I don't know how they managed to do it, but
bring ignorance here. Is that the one? Is that the animated one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I want to see it. I've heard nothing good things about it.
Oh man,
got Miles Morales in it.
Yeah, it's like the whole. I don't know. I've been a huge Spider-Man fan for a long time, and I actually did read some comics when I was younger, but for the life of me, I cannot remember, and they were in no particular order either. So I was just more of like, I like Spider-Man. So, and back then, you know, the internet was not really in full swing by any means. So it was just, that was what I had, but I never knew anything about Miles Morales, but, I am in complete awe of this movie. So I'll just leave it at this because I haven't finished it yet, but I love it so far. And if you guys have any way of watching it, I suggest you do so. Or if you have seen it, I mean, think about it again and watch it again, because it's like I said, it's a masterpiece. Like, it's just completely incredible.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard really, really good things.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I haven't seen. Just seen the previews. It looks really good because it's got, you know, Peter Parker, Peter Porker, Gwen Stacy.
Yeah,
it's got like Spider-Man Noir.
Yeah,
like it looks amazing. It looks so good.
Yeah, well, I mean, like the whole premise is that there's a villain who taps into the multiverse, and then they start bringing all these different versions of Spider-Man into Miles Morales' reality, and so it's just he's like trying to learn how to be Spider-Man, and they're all like teaching him shit like that. So it's great. And Nick, how is Kingdom Hearts? Because that was, I think, the last show you were on, or I don't remember if it was the last show you were on, or before that you were saying that it had almost been released at that point, and that was a little while ago.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it. There's a few small gripes I have, which I think anybody will agree with me on this. If you haven't played any of the Kingdom Hearts games, it's a little convoluted. Like, the storyline is a little hard to follow. It's like, huh? what? What's happening? Who are these characters, and why should I care?
Yeah.
The gameplay is really good. I mean, it incorporates Disney into the genre with, Final Fantasy. Well, not this one, but with different gaming characters, and it's just a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying the hell out of it.
Yeah, man, I haven't played one since the first one.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, the characters are relatable. They're funny. They're cute. I mean, it's bringing to life all your favorite Disney characters. It's a little easy and it's a little short, but I mean, it's still a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it.
Good deal. I finally beat Witcher 3. I've been playing that game. God, when did I get my PlayStation? For like 2 years now. Well, this is like the third year I've had it, but I've been playing that game. I've been playing that game forever. But
since you're a Witcher fan,
yeah.
Have you had a chance yet to jump into Monster Hunter World?
No, but I know that Geralt and Ciri are in it. At least I know they do like the temporary events, and I don't know if that was one of them. So
I think you can get like the armor to be Geralt. I'm not sure if that's the thing.
Probably. Yeah,
probably.
that
they did it for.
See, here's the thing: is that I've been playing that game so much, and I've only beaten the main story. So the main story without any of the expansions, and I'm already at 90 plus hours. I'm not quite at 100 yet, but I remember looking at it was like between 93 and 97 hours in just the main story. So, and I got 2 expansions to go. So after the main story ended, I told myself, I was like, you know what, I need to let all this kind of like marinate for a bit, because it was like, I don't finish video games ever. And not only that, but the thought of completing a 100-hour video game was just not possible until recently.
Daunting.
Yeah. So I finished it. So I'm letting it sit for a minute before I pick it back up and start doing the expansions. Just because I want to like let it sink in, and also because I ended up buying a Nintendo Switch, and that has been sucking my time away.
Since we're talking about video games, I just restarted playing Red Dead 2. I had to restart it.
Uh-oh. Did you get stuck, or did you just lose
No,
it?
I had put it down for so long that I had no idea what I had going on.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm at that point.
I was only like 10 hours in.
Okay.
Like, so I wasn't like super deep into it, but I was into it, and I picked it up a couple of days ago to start playing it, and I was like, I don't remember any of this. I don't remember what's going on. I don't remember any of this. So I just restarted it. I've restarted playing the first couple of missions, kind of flew through those because they're really easy. I remember that part. I'm almost back to the point I was at.
That's good. That's kind of what I did with Witcher. I mean, I've told this story countless times, but yeah. So I get it.
Well, you're just talking about video games, and I actually had something I could throw in there about video games.
Yeah. I still
wanted to be included.
No, it's all right. I still want to play that game, but I'm pretty sure I won't pick it up until it's heavily discounted, and mainly that is just due to the huge backlog of games that I have, plus the fact that I have a Switch now, and like I'm playing playing Breath of the Wild right now, and it's a very it's very fun. It's very.
I've been wanting to get that.
Yeah,
we have a Switch now too.
Do you really?
Well, it's not ours. It's Tori's brother's, but
but it's like
it's yours.
It's payment for the living space. Like,
it's sitting in our living room. Tori's played it a couple of times. I haven't touched it at all.
Dude, I wasn't sure. I mean, I got it. I got it mainly to kind of fill a void from stuff that's been happening lately. So, I won't get into it on the show.
To fight the sadness.
Yeah, well, to fight the huge amount of time that I now have available to me for the time being. So, and yeah, so yeah, I picked it up for that, and the fact that my daughter, or Emma, she's able to play Mario Kart, because we had a friend, she played one at a friend of ours' house, and she loved it. And so I was like, oh sweet, this is something that the entire family can enjoy. And sure enough, that's all she wants to do now is play Mario Kart. And it's like there's only so much.
You created a monster.
There's only so much Mario Karting I can do before I want to, I know Tori's, I don't know if you guys are into like Pokemon. Tori's played was it Let's Go? Is it Pikachu? Let's Go Pikachu? Or Eevee?
Or, yeah, one of them. And she said that's pretty cool. She played that on the TV.
Yeah, I looked at it. It's been since the original Red and Blue.
Game Boy Red and Blue.
Yeah, since I've played. So, yeah. So I don't even know. I'm not even up to the times with Pokemon. So.
Oh yeah, don't ask me about any of those. I couldn't tell you any of that, but
yeah, I remember like the three main ones. I don't know.
There's red, blue, yellow.
No, I mean like 3 Pokemon. Like there's Pikachu.
Oh, dude, the starters?
Charmander.
No, wrong.
No, Pikachu's not a starter. No, it's Charmander, Squirtle, and what's the other one? Bulbasaur.
Oh,
really?
You should have let him sweat it out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Nature,
Squirtle.
water, and fire. Yeah.
However, in the yellow version, you could get Pikachu as your starter.
Okay. I
thought the yellow version you had to have Pikachu as your starter because he followed you around when you played the game.
I don't think you have to in that version, but I think like the option was there.
See, I thought you started with them on purpose because it was supposed to be like the anime where he followed you around.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember my favorite Pokemon game was Pokemon Pinball.
Pokemon Pinball?
Dude, that game was awesome. For the Game Boy, it had a Rumble Pack in it.
Oh, really?
So the game was like twice as big as a regular Game Boy game, like height-wise, because you put a AAA battery in the top of it. So when you were playing like pinball, it would actually like buzz and shake, and dude, it was sweet.
Can you like remember all the crazy fucking gadgets that Game Boy had with it?
Oh yeah,
like the camera,
Game Boy printer,
the printer.
One year for Christmas, we got my sister and I both got Game Boy accessory packs for our Game Boy Advances.
Nice.
And it was like a magnifying glass that clipped onto it.
Yeah.
Blew the screen up, and it had like lights on the side so you could play at night. And it had like an extended battery pack. Oh, dude, I remember all that stuff. We got
turn
those
that thing into a fucking brick.
Well, have you seen the old ads for the original Game Boy?
I'm sure I have.
Big gray brick that shows that it's like you can get all of these accessories for it, and it's like
no longer portable.
Big fucking mass of just like you could kill somebody with this.
Yeah. Oh man. So I get the next thing I got on my list here. Did you guys end up being able to play the Anthem demo on PS4?
Nope.
No.
Okay. Well.
What was Anthem the like Fortnite
kind of
game?
That's
what was Anthem?
Anthem is the one where you're like in exo suits and you're like flying around exploring like an alien world.
I couldn't be less excited for that.
Well, like
it sounds like No Man's Sky.
No, nothing like that.
No,
like you're directed, like you have like it's like Destiny, but with,
okay.
But it's another. BioWare made it, but so that was kind of like a good mark for them. But then, you know, it was like an EA thing, so it came with all of EA's problems. They got microtransactions. They got, you know,
loot boxes.
Yeah, exactly. Loot boxes. They have like long loading screens, and the game is largely unfinished. I mean, and that's not just speaking from my experience with the demo. This is all the stuff has come out because they did a really weird release, because they have like the EA Origins account thing that you can do, and if you buy it through that, you are able to play like 10 hours, up to 10 hours of the game before it's released. That will carry over when it is released, which I think it's released this weekend, 22nd. I think, or it's the 26th. I don't remember. It's this month sometime. But anyway, my impressions of the demo were the gameplay was a lot of fun, but it was very, very disconnected, and I don't know. And well, from what I've read about it since then, that's kind of how it is, even, you know, with the full version, not just the demo. Because the demo, they were like, oh, you can't talk to this person or do this thing because this is the demo version. Like, literally all they wanted you to do was to pick up a quest and go do it, and which was fine. But it was just like, even just that, I was like, if this is all the game is, I'm not getting it, because there's not enough here. And it was just like the combat's great, the controls are really responsive and great, being able to fly and jump around and have different special abilities and have different suits and everything like that part's cool, that part's fine, but it's a BioWare game. You would expect some sort of deep, enriching story and everything, and I am not the biggest Destiny fan, and that's kind of what they set it up to be, but it just has all the problems that come with an EA title, and that's just not good for anybody. So it's unfortunately it's a title that I was previously really, really hyped up and excited for based on the gameplay videos, and now just completely just uninterested. So
yeah, it majorly.
So now that Wes is shit all over the game, it comes out on Friday.
It comes out on Friday? Okay. Yep. Well, that's good. I won't be getting it. So
yeah, neither will I.
It doesn't sound like something I play. The only EA game I have that I play is NHL.
And they should really, for the love of God, just stick to sports, because I feel like nobody has a problem with their sports games, but everything else no. And you would know.
They're starting to put some of that bullshitty.
Oh God. Loot boxes?
Loot box and microtransaction stuff in it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, if you go into like there's a couple of different modes they put in the last game that are like you can play outside on a pond with your friends, but if you want this stick, it's going to cost you more points, and you can buy points or you can play the game for 1 million hours to get this little upgrade.
Oh my God.
Like that kind of stuff. So it's like it doesn't 100% affect the game, but it's just the fact that I know it's there makes me
annoyed,
unhappy.
Yeah. That's dumb. What?
Developers putting out unfinished games that they want you to pay more for.
They've been doing that for. I actually just watched a video on this. Sorry to interrupt you, but this goes along with it. I just watched a video on this about how everyone is like yearning for the golden age of video games to come back, and unfortunately that it seems to be that died out when they started releasing digital copies, like, you know, downloadable copies, because with the physical copies, once you put it out there, that's what was there, and it either, you know, make it or break it type deal with the developers. Like if they put out a shitty game, then people were like, what the fuck? They return their money and they move on to something, or they return their product, get their money back, and move on to something else. Now it's, oh, we can push it out because, oh, guess what? There's going to be a day one patch. And then after that, there's going to be a constant debugging patch that'll happen every week or so, and it could, ruin the game even more. But don't worry, just wait another week or so and we'll have another one out. You know what I mean? It's just...
Yeah, that's 100% true. I noticed that ever since that online gaming became a part of console gaming, really, where it's like, update your system, update your game, update this game. Yeah, I see that now. It's fucking terrible.
It's unfortunate, and it's one of the many reasons why I don't really know what we can do about it aside from just not buy stuff. But then, it's like there's stuff that I want to play, but it's just, I don't know. It sucks. It sucks that the industry is moving towards that way. I just don't, I think I have this feeling just because I'm kind of, learning about a lot of this type of stuff in my classes, but I think they're approaching a point where the industry is going to have to change. I mean, we're already kind of at that point because people are noticeably like disappointed and noticeably calling out all this bullshit that they don't want in their video games. And, the developers keep making the same mistakes. There are a few out there that refuse to do that, which is great. There's a few that will put out like, free DLC for the entire life of the game, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
But, and then those, unfortunately, those titles aren't as big as the ones that are doing the shit that we hate. So,
right. I think it's going to end up going the same way that comic books did and trading cards did in the 90s, where it gets too big for itself, and then all of a sudden it bursts for a little while, where
people don't want anything to do with it.
People don't want anything to do with it. Cards aren't worth anything. Comics aren't worth anything. Games won't be worth anything because they're not finished.
Yeah.
And then someone's going to come along 10 years later and be like, hey, here's a really simple game. It's complete. There's nothing big bells and whistles about it. And people are going to play it and have the nostalgic feeling of, I could sit down and play this whole game and just be done with it. I don't have to worry about waiting for EA to put out a patch or a fix for it, or to finish the game and let me download it.
Yeah. Real quick, we're going to take another quick break, and when we get back, we're going to do more of the same. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
Hey, do you want to play games for a good cause? Join Extra Life, a community of 50,000 gamers all over the world who play games to heal kids at Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Find out more at extra-life.org.
Do you like role-playing? How about podcasts? How about a podcast about role-playing? Check out our friends at Tomorrow's End, a podcast that follows a role-playing group as they navigate through a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Find them now on iTunes and Google Play.
And we're back again with more of the same, maybe a little bit a different topic here. And I guess, yeah, I'll go ahead and switch things up a little bit here. Have you guys seen the trailers and all the hype surrounding the new Captain Marvel movie?
Yes.
What do you feel about it?
No.
I don't blame you, but I Nick, what do you think about it?
I don't know enough myself. That was one of those characters I never really delved too deep into to make an informed decision.
Yeah.
However, and I was talking to my girlfriend about this, is that it's going to be kind of refreshing and nice to see. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, she'll be one of the first female superhero leads besides Black Widow, and we haven't had since the Black Widow movie, there hasn't been another.
Black Widow hasn't even had a movie. It'd be the first one since.
Did she not?
Wonder Woman.
But speaking of DC,
Marvel has never had a standalone female lead movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Black Widow never got her own movie. There was talks of doing like a Black Widow Hawkeye spin-off movie, but they're two of the characters that are they're kind of just plain old peanut butter and jelly. There's nothing really deep into them that you. I mean, you could, but they kind of explored Black Widow in Age of Ultron, I think.
Yeah. Well, in that case, I'm even more excited because I think they need to have a female lead, standalone, have her own movie. That'd be cool.
Well, from my understanding, is that Captain Marvel in the comics is a dude, right?
Both.
Well, it depends.
He started out as a dude when he first came out, but the most recent incarnation is female.
Okay, all right.
So Captain Marvel, the way I understand it, Captain Marvel, and there's another Marvel universe. I don't want to say character, but like identity. It can be anybody. Anybody can be Captain Marvel. Anybody can be so and so.
Oh, kind of like James Bond and.
Right, exactly. So
what's the other one I'm thinking of? Doctor Who.
There's another character. Right, there's another character in the Marvel universe that finds Peter Parker and bonds with Peter Parker, and it's not Venom. It's a completely different character. But any character in the Marvel universe can kind of take on these roles.
Okay.
And so I think Captain Marvel is the same concept.
Okay. See, the reason I bring it up is because currently it's being review bombed, I think, on Rotten Tomatoes or I don't know, one of those sites or whatever. It's being review bombed and we won't get into this portion of it, but a lot of movies when they come out, when people when they're not like faithful to the source material, or the actor or actress says or does something stupid, that the fan base reacts very strongly. I mean, we saw it happen with Star Wars and
so is it angry, nerdy, dirty neckbeards that are calling out and being like, that's not what the character's about. That's not what he does.
Well, there's
Marvel's a man.
Well, there's another side to this, and it breaks into territory that we don't cover on this show. But she said some pretty ill-advised stuff, and about the fan base and about race and gender. I don't know. Fuck political correctness, but that's something we're not going to get into. But the point I was trying to get to is that the movie largely has a I don't know which one is perceived, but it's been one of those where it's being review bombed, and so the market's basically saying, no, we don't want this bullshit. But then you're seeing like a disparity between what the people are saying and what the critics are saying. Because
Black Panther.
Yeah,
excuse me, sorry.
It's okay. That's kind of in the same vein of where Captain Marvel is headed right now, or it is actually right now. But I don't know enough about it. I tend to want to keep all that stuff. Like, as soon as I get wind of any stuff like that, I kind of just want to distance myself from it. So
keep your chocolate out of the peanut butter.
Yeah, I guess.
Wait a minute.
That combination is glorious, sir.
Yeah, that sounds like a good combo.
It is.
Both metaphorically and in reality.
Don't you remember the commercials? You got your chocolate in my peanut butter. You got your peanut butter in my chocolate.
Is it a sex thing? I don't know.
Yeah. That's the newest craze now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know enough about Captain Marvel.
I don't either. And it's kind of one of those things where, like,
well, Captain
I hope
Marvel,
it's good.
Isn't it set in, like, the 90s? Like, it's supposed to be kind of like a 90s nostalgic feel to it.
I know she fights like the Skrull.
I think that's what the movie is kind of setting up to be. But from my understanding, and I don't want to give any spoilers away, but this is what I've heard, and I haven't read the comic, so I don't know what to expect when it comes to what's this, fucking Thanos and whatnot. Captain Marvel is supposed to be like the hinging pin behind them defeating Thanos. Is like, and I don't know, and it's like, why are they like just now getting to her? That's what I don't like.
She's supposed to be like a supreme. She's like a big space cop, basically. Supreme being.
Yeah. She's like
got
a badass.
like powers almost.
She's like Marvel's Superman.
Okay, and that's I don't know. Well, this could probably be a whole show in itself, but it's like I don't know. I'm burnt out on comic book movies, and honestly, the most refreshing thing, that I have seen in the Marvel universe has been this new Spider-Man movie that I'm raving about. Because, good lord. But anyway, so yeah, we'll have to wait to see what happens when it actually comes out. Because everything right now is all just a hype, and I don't trust any of it. But along different comic show and TV and whatever movie lines, Punisher is the latest Marvel movie to get yanked from Netflix. That's kind of their last one, isn't it? That's their last one that they had.
Also, there was another one, Jessica Jones.
Well, yeah, they've been going down the line. I think it was Iron Fist first, which
Luke Cage,
Daredevil, which the whole thing.
Shame.
Yeah, the whole thing is dumb, but like, so I posted this article on our Facebook page, and one of our followers commented back on it, and they brought up a great point. Is that this all seems to be like this really weird publicity type deal, because Disney is coming out with their streaming service relatively soon, I think, and now that Marvel is part of Disney, I mean, we all knew that there'd be kind of a weird disconnect or weird, relationship. So all signs point to the fact that the reason they're getting pulled is so that Disney can, have their properties back for the most part, and offer them as part of their streaming service. And
there is no way Disney is going to put Punisher on their streaming service.
Well, it's all.
I bet you $1 million.
No,
that Punisher is way too violent to be on there with something like Moana and fucking Frozen. Wait, Frozen's Pixar, isn't it? Or is it Disney?
I don't know. It's Disney. It's Disney and Pixar.
It's Disney.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it Disney?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No,
but I mean, like,
Disney owns everything now, so
yeah,
like it's not gonna. They're not gonna put that on there. There's no way. Like, you're gonna have like a kid scrolling through looking for Frozen. They're like, oh, what's this? And all of a sudden, there's Punisher.
Well, no,
shoving his thumbs into some dude's eye and ripping out a dude's tongue and shooting people and like.
Well, no, but they can already separate that content on Netflix. I see no reason why they wouldn't be able to with the Disney thing, because they got Star Wars, and Star Wars for the most part has been kid friendly, but there's still like some adult elements to it that I don't see them tossing in an actual live action Star Wars movie in with those cartoons either. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but I get your point. I mean, I agree to a certain extent. It's funny to think about that. But what this guy on our Facebook page was talking about was, he was like, Disney's kind of setting it up to basically, the people over at Disney are basically saying, we don't know why Netflix canceled these shows that were doing so well and making them so much money.
They're blaming Netflix for it.
Yeah, and it's like, we all know that you're having your own streaming service. Like, they're kind of like, it appears, all appearances point to that they're setting themselves up to be like the saviors of these shows and everything like that. Like, oh, well, we're gonna bring it back, and then that'll make people more attracted to their service. It's just,
like,
that's what it seems like, and that's my story, and I'm sticking with it until it's proven otherwise, because that's how I'm calling it.
It's just another stupid streaming service that we're gonna have to buy now to watch things that should just be on Netflix, like.
Well, and here's
it should all just like these companies are so fucking greedy. Like, they should just get together and put together one streaming package. But Like, it's ridiculous.
Well, and that's kind of what cable companies have been doing, and everybody's been complaining that they don't watch enough cable to warrant the cost. I mean, we can only have it. We can only have it one way or the other, and I would rather go for stuff. You know, I agree some things should be consolidated, but you know, again, on our Facebook page, this was another comment. They were talking about how they were like, just like you, they're like, man, all these fucking companies want our money for streaming stuff. It's like they're really pushing everybody to pirate, and it's like, well, everybody's pirating anyway. But I definitely understand that viewpoint. But I think out of all of them, that Disney probably has, or Disney definitely has enough backlog of, or enough, a catalog of content to actually warrant having a streaming service, and there being enough on it for people, because they're still producing new content. You know, they got a wealth of content from the past and present and upcoming stuff that they can add to it. They got promises of original stuff, like the Star Wars TV shows that they've been talking about. I think they have enough to warrant whatever, a similar price to Netflix. However, the people that don't have that kind of power, like what is it, fucking Star Trek Discovery, it drives me fucking nuts that is behind a paywall, and they're wanting.
Yeah, that's on like ABC or something, isn't it?
CBS. I think it's CBS All Access, but it's like, I mean, it's not as expensive as Netflix. I think it's like between $6 and $10, or maybe I could be wrong.
Well, that's basically Netflix, but it's like Netflix is what, $10.99 now. So I mean,
yeah, but you got and the difference is like,
it's gonna be $12.99 now.
I mean, but
Jesus.
Can you? I mean, does that make sense to anybody else? About
No.
Oh, CBS All Access. It's like, who gives a shit? It's like, I just want to watch one show.
Who has CBS All Access?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, before you guys were talking about the Star Trek show on there, like, I had never heard of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it's streaming services they're getting to a point to where it's almost just like having cable now, because you're paying. Yeah. Like, if you have Hulu
like
and Netflix
between everything
and Amazon Prime, and like me, I have WWE Network. Those are the 4 I have. And that's like almost $50 a month if I keep all of them. So I mean,
it's basically a cable bill, or like
it's
the low tier
cable package. Yeah.
I gotcha.
I think I have two. I have Netflix and Crunchyroll.
You have Crunchyroll?
Yeah.
That's the anime one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I'm a fucking weeb.
At least you're honest.
No, again, with all this time I have, I've thought about. I've been wanting to try and check out some of the stuff I've just been passing over lately, but yeah, I don't know. There's
like
some
anime.
Like anime, yes, like anime. I don't. Yeah, so. We'll see how that goes.
I'll recommend a few to you that I think you'd like.
Yeah.
Why don't you just do it now?
I like them to be extremely fucking violent.
Let's make it part of the show, Nick. Just do it. Nick's Weed Corner.
What did Wes say?
I said I like them to be extremely fucking violent.
Oh, then you need to watch Parasite the Maxim.
Okay.
Because it's super fucking violent.
All right.
Or Blood Sea, because it's nothing but violence, and it's blunt.
You don't say. Blood Sea.
Dude, it's so violent.
With a name like that.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever... Not you, Drew, because I don't think you like anime.
You gotta be in the mood for it.
Wes, did you ever watch... I think it's just called Blood, the Last Vampire?
Yeah.
So
I know you hyped that up for the longest time, and I'm pretty sure I saw it.
Yeah, it's a series based off of that series, and
okay.
it's brutal.
Yeah.
This demon rips a girl in half from her legs. It's wild.
Well, my first experience with anime was with Ninja Scroll. Like, literally, I think the first anime I watched that was an actual movie that wasn't Dragon Ball Z was Ninja Scroll.
Did you say Ninja Scroll?
Yeah, dude, remember? You remember that?
Ninja Scroll's dope.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Remember, like, we ordered, like, VHS from Japan online, like
Fuck
like
yeah.
fan dub or fan subbed, and yeah,
Like you couldn't even choose the options for it to be in English
it was
or
like
Japanese.
It was like damn near black smuggling market at that point.
Oh, dude, those were the good old days where people would trade tapes.
Yeah,
I used to do that with wrestling pay-per-views.
Oh, really?
When you had to go down.
Somebody would, because they were like $50 a pop, so somebody would buy it and
tape it.
Back in the day, you could tape it on the VCR, and then they would just trade it around. So like I'd be like, I have WrestleMania 17, and someone would be like, well, I have Survivor Series. Like, well, I haven't seen that. And you trade the tapes. You fucking. It was a whole legit thing. Like,
it was like piracy in the olden days.
Yeah, that was like the only way to see stuff like out of Japan or independent wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, that was the only way to see any of that stuff, because the only thing on TV was WWF or WCW. So, like,
man,
tape trading was huge in the 90s.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I remember when we were younger, the mall wasn't where it is now. Like downtown Muskegon. It was where the mall used to be.
Yeah.
And I remember going there, and there was an actual place that
You cut out.
VHS tapes, and thinking it was like the best fucking thing on. Huh?
You cut out for a second.
Yeah.
I think we got the just. It was a complete silence for a minute. You're saying there was a place in the Muskegon Mall that sold anime VHS tapes?
Yeah. Hell yeah. But it wasn't like the anime that's out now. It was like violent shit, and it was awesome.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't
Violent,
remember.
seedy anime.
Right.
I remember watching Demon City Shinjuku late night, I think on Sci-Fi Channel, maybe?
Fuck yeah, it was like...
Wasn't it Sci-Fi Channel? Like, they played it like in the same time block as like
fuck yeah.
Aeon Flux and...
Dude, it was so good.
Like, that's when I first watched Akira. That's where I watched...
But it was all those animes from like the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Like those really well animated.
Yeah.
Super bomb.
Oh yeah. And very confusing as a child, but...
Dude, it was so good. I was so into it. Like,
was
my
great.
brother and I, that was my favorite time. It was either Thursdays or Fridays it came on after like 7 or 8 o'clock, yeah.
It was something like that, but I just remember it being like that was my anime. Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, my fuck. What am I? I just fucking said it. Ninja Scroll wasn't my first anime. Then it had to have been those. I completely forgot about those. Well, okay, Ninja Scroll was my first owned anime. So yeah, it's good. God, we've really kind of gone all over the place when it comes to topics tonight.
Shit.
That's awesome.
It's great.
It is great. I don't think I have anything else on my list here. I do, but I don't know how to talk about it. Like, I have one more because Joe posted in our Discord that he wanted an epic rant about Epic, the game company, deciding to make the new Metro. God, what are they on now? 2033 or something? Exodus. There we go.
Yeah. I don't know enough about it.
Yeah, I don't either. But they're deciding to pull it from Steam and make it an Epic Store exclusive, which is a big deal if you're in tune with that. But I'm not, so
I don't know shit about it.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you anything really about Steam or Metro.
Yeah, so forgive us, Joe, if you're listening to this at some point. Don't know enough about it.
Let you down.
Yep, I just remembered that you had posted that, and I just looked it up before we started, so I would need to research it a bit more. But yeah, do you guys have anything else that you want to toss into this hodgepodge of awesomeness?
Just the story I mentioned earlier.
Oh yes, please do that.
I was reading an article online where these Girl Scouts got cutouts of Jason Momoa and put them on Samoa cookies, and they sold out of them. Like, I don't know if it was because of the Jason Momoa or just the fact that the Samoa is the best Girl Scout cookie, but they sold out of them, and I thought that was hilarious and genius marketing.
Great marketing.
Wait a second.
What? Jason Momoa.
No, are we gonna have a Girl Scout cookie argument?
I think so.
Yeah, I was gonna say you said that's the best cookie. Let's.
Oh, because it is.
No.
Are you old white people and you like eating trifoils because they're just shortbread?
No,
I like the peanut butter ones.
Fuck yeah, man. No. Well, okay, which ones? The tagalongs. I don't even think they're called that anymore. They changed all the names.
Yeah, they don't even call them tagalongs anymore.
They're probably just called like peanut butter generic.
Oh, dude, Thin Mints are good though. Right when they come in right out of the freezer.
I think they're overrated.
I say
Thin Mints.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Okay,
peanut butter,
I will.
Thin Mints, then Samoas.
I like Samoas, but not. I mean, I would buy. I would buy Jason Samoas, but.
I mean, with that I'd be compelled to buy them because that marketing scheme,
I would.
That's just smart. That's just good work.
Oh God!
They did some research into their consumers.
Speaking of Jason Momoa, Nick, you said you saw Aquaman. I know
it's really good.
Okay, I was going to ask you what you thought.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah. I know you weren't as ecstatic about it as I was, but yeah.
No, I don't think so. But I still liked it. And here's the thing: is I've never been an Aquaman fan ever, and I think I'm now an Aquaman fan.
Yeah, I think if they're able to get enough interest in DC in the DC universe again. Which they have done some pretty bad damage to that brand.
Jesus Christ, yeah, they have.
You know, I mean, God, they're already talking about a new Batman, a new face of Batman. Ben Affleck's quitting.
Oh, they are. Ben Affleck quit.
Yep, and then Jared Leto's movies aren't being made, which is a good thing. But you know what I mean? It's just like all of a sudden, you know, like I don't know, like they're just saying, you know, fuck continuity. We're just gonna make movies about the characters we like with whatever actor we fucking feel like. So
this is old news, but did you guys see the stills from
since the
Joker movie?
Joaquin Phoenix's Joker movie?
Yes.
Oh my God, I cannot wait for that. It looks so good.
Yep.
Yeah, it does.
I hope it is good. They need it. But Aquaman, I mean, good Lord.
I really liked it a lot.
Like I loved how they made it like it was like a whole like adventure, like the different locations, and they kept the I think the biggest thing that was refreshing about that movie was they kept the momentum up, and a lot of DC movies have been really fucking slow, and then towards the end when they get to they get to a breaking point, then shit hits the fan, and then just when you're like, oh fuck yeah, it's over. But Aquaman, like there was points in that movie throughout the entire thing where it was like the first scene with like Nicole Kidman, and there's no spoilers here, but when she fucking fought off the people inside the house, that's when I knew that movie was going to be fucking great.
Yeah, I agree that there wasn't like any like downtime or lagging. Like it all felt like there was a lot of, like you said, momentum. It just kept going and going and going. There wasn't any. It didn't really allow for any slow moments, and I appreciated that.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, wasn't Aquaman a little like lighthearted too?
The comic or
no, like the movie.
The movie. It's not.
Not lighthearted, but it wasn't Snyder versus DC.
No.
And like.
No, yeah.
How do you know the name Martha?
No, like definitely, it was definitely like.
Don't fucking start with that.
No, it was a lot lighthearted, but it maintained a sense of urgency and seriousness, but it wasn't like as dark and depressing. I guess, like I said, I keep bringing up like Indiana Jones, like the lightheartedness of Indiana Jones, but you got the dude that's ripping the heart out of the other dude's chest. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was kind of like that mix where it was fun and adventurous, funny at times, but there's definitely the element of seriousness that kept it from being a parody, I guess. So
I'd agree with it.
yeah.
All right.
But yeah.
I have to give like one big shout out to someone who's probably not a listener, but I'm about to make her a listener, is my girlfriend, who bought me a pair of robot slippers.
Yeah, those were pretty badass.
Those are pretty sweet.
They're fucking great.
They're like,
they make noises.
They make noises?
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
You didn't watch the video?
No, I saw a picture.
Oh, they're so cool.
Okay, I'll have to scroll back through
the batteries in. They make
3 days of
noises.
Hundreds of chat notifications to find it. You might have to just send me the video again. Come on, dude. You know our chat.
You could just scroll through the pictures and stuff.
Oh well, even that is a pretty daunting task. But you're right. That's easier. That's easier than.
Yeah, I got this giant box in the mail, and sure enough, it's like a giant care package full of amazing shit. I was so happy.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool.
Awesome.
Good deal. Well, all right, guys. I think we easily filled that hour, like no problem, and we'll have to do it again. But yeah. So until next time, guys. We love you and have a good night.
Oh, we're moving on to love now, huh?
Sure, why not? Right?
It's getting serious, guys.
We're like on season 3, I think.
It's moved to that.
It is.
First comes love. Then comes marriage.
Yeah, we haven't started like the giveaways where we're like giving gifts to listeners yet. But maybe, I don't know. If we ever get our shit together, it'll happen. But yeah.
Someday.
Probably not. I don't know.
Hey, we gave away. No, we didn't give away a gift. You won a gift from another one.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.